Hello everyone, welcome back to Screamers. Just me and Honor in the studio today because Jessie has been thwarted by a delayed plane, very sadly. But we have lots to get through: international break, Asia Cup and WAFCON updates. So shall we get into it?
Let's. So we have 2 Lionesses games to catch up on. We had the game against Ukraine on Tuesday, which was in Turkey. And we also had the game against Iceland at the City Ground on Saturday, where I was. So shall we kick off with the Ukraine game, which was quite an interesting game, certainly an interesting start with England being goalless in the first half, despite attacking pretty much the whole time, and Ukraine not having a single touch in the final third. So I don't really know what was happening there, do you think, Maya?
I just think it's one of those things where maybe, the tactical change at halftime made such a huge difference of swapping Jess Park and Lauren Hemp's sides that it just feels like it wasn't the right formation to go against that low block. I think Ukraine were actually really well organised as well in that defence, and clearly their aim was just to defend, and we just had real trouble getting around that.
And it really worked for that first half as well, because England just couldn't score. So their game plan was going perfectly until half time. I think in the second half, England definitely picked up the pace a bit and started moving the ball around much quicker, which really helped to kind of get around those Ukraine players. Obviously, Ukraine got their goal from a free kick, which made it 1-1. So it felt a little bit sketchy for a minute. But I think at that stage, we always kind of knew England were going to go on to score more because we'd looked so dangerous and kind of felt like the floodgates had started to ease open. But yeah, their goal from a free kick rebound was very exciting. It was a great volley, and I was really, really pleased for them.
Yeah. Those are the kinds of games in these qualifiers. It would be nice to be keeping a clean sheet for England. But obviously, we love an underdog, and I was really happy for them. Also, because they'd had, obviously, Kozlova going off with an injury so early on in the game, which has been now confirmed as an ACL, which is just such bad luck. It's absolutely rotten for her. But amazing shift for them to be able to draw level at that point in the game. Yeah,
but as mentioned, the floodgates did kind of open a bit, and England managed to get 6 goals in total. Alessia Russo was just flying at the beginning of that. I thought she was great as ever. It just kind of seemed like in that second half, whenever the ball fell to her, she was going to score.
In Stanway's mixed zone interview after the game, she was saying that one of the other changes they made in the second half was to stop kind of crowding the box and sort of draw back to allow Alessia that space, to find those pockets of space. And that obviously really worked as well.
That really worked, yeah. I thought Kira Walsh was just amazing in this game when she's given a bit of freedom to do what she wants, which we don't always see. We often see her really, really heavily man-marked. But I just thought her feet were so good. Her passing was really good.
Yeah, the vision.
The vision for one of those Russo goals to put that pass through was really, really great.
I also thought Georgia Stanway put in an amazing shift. She was phenomenal in that game, I thought.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes not watching her week in, week out, I forget how good she is.
Totally. I think she is quite underrated in that squad, but under Sarina Wiegman, she has one of the best records of any of that squad since kind of that massive Euros where they kind of all broke through. She hasn't, she didn't break through, she was already in that squad, but to the public, she hasn't been in the WSL, which you're right, I think means people slightly underrate her, but she is just, whenever she's on the pitch, I feel like it's safe hands. It's almost and we'll get onto her, but it's almost like that Lucy Bronze grit and determination that Georgia Stanway has to just push for the result. And she got 100% success rate in penalties for England. That's 14 out of 14 having scored
crazy.
That one. She just is a machine. And I'm really excited about the rumours of her maybe coming to Arsenal, because I think I talk about it a lot, but I think that sort of grit and determination, that sort of Katie McCabe-ness, that Erin Cuthbert-ness, that Lucy Bronze-ness is something we do lack at Arsenal, apart from obviously with Katie McCabe, who might be leaving, probably is leaving this summer. So we do need that. So I'm really excited. I hope that is where Georgia Stanway's going.
Like Kira Walsh, I thought Jess Park was really, really fun to watch, as always. It's so nice to see her obviously having the season she's having with Man United, and then being able to break into this England team, having been able to show really what she can do in the league. Obviously, we always knew she's a really talented player at Manchester City, but now, like, when she has that freedom on the ball, it's just so exciting to watch her.
I think also it's really exciting to see her really try and stake her claim, like with Tooney out with injury. To see Jess Park come in and make such an impact is really great. And yeah, she's been looking so good.
Yeah, both of those players can really make magic happen. So it's really nice to have two options there. I thought Laura Blinkle-de-Brown as well, with the minutes that she got,
Full
really
90
impressed
for
me.
her. I was thinking about you. I thought, God, Anna must be happy.
I actually got a message on Instagram saying Blinky, so people out there know how much of a Blinky stan I am.
I thought it was a shame not to see any Freya Godfrey once that scoreline was up. I thought it would have been nice to give her a bit of a runabout, but we did get a Lucia Kendall fourth cap, and LJ and Aggie Beaver-Jones both subbed on around 75 minutes. So there was a bit of turnover, and it was lovely to see those two back as well.
Yeah, the other halftime change was Poppy Pattinson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Who obviously was involved in giving away the free kick that led to Ukraine's goal. But I thought she was pretty solid overall. And then other news in fullbacks, I thought Maya Letizia was actually really, really good at right back.
Yeah.
She got forwards loads. She was making some pretty good passes. So interesting to see her in that role. It never ends.
And then you were up in Nottingham.
I was. So had an early start on Saturday morning.
Almost stuck at Leicester.
Oh my God, I stuck at Leicester for about 40 minutes while the train door was being fixed. I was in first class because it was cheaper.
I love it when
that was really nice. I had my free orange juice. But the train was packed with Arsenal men's fans going to Mansfield, which I have to say was quite painful company to be in, with everyone trying to dodge fares and like shouting at train staff and stuff. God. It was like quite grim. But got to Nottingham, had a beer, got to the city ground. Everything was all right. And yeah, I thought it was really, really great to see the Lionesses at the city ground, not only because of my, family relationship with it, but also it's just such a great size ground for a game like that, because it was completely sold out. Crowd was good, had people travelling from all over, and the atmosphere was pretty decent.
Yeah, I thought the atmosphere and the vibes seemed great from watching it on telly. Like, it looked like a fun vibe.
It was great, and it was nice to go in a pretty big group as well. A few of our mates, obviously Stace and their mum Leah, who is a listener of the pod, hasn't left us any comments recently, but I have I've nudged her on Saturday to start leaving some comments again. So hopefully she hears this and leaves some comments.
Sounds like a threat. We say it every time, but I really dread the day that Lucy Bronze hangs up her boots. It's like, just when you think, oh, she's going to start sort of tailing off, she shows us why she's Lucy Bronze. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so she's now the third most capped
She
England
is.
player.
So she has just overtaken Kaz Carney, and she is behind only Jill Scott and Farrah Williams.
Wow.
And she looks like she might be able to catch up with Jill at least.
Yeah. Her performance was just incredible. That LJ Lucy Bronze link up is honestly magic.
I love it. The Chelsea besties.
It's so exciting to watch. Like, LJ is the vision that she has, like the way she sees the game playing out, the passes. She's like Kira Walsh in that way, but that assist she made to Lucy Bronze for that goal, it's just, it's so good to see them both firing like that.
Yeah. And she put in a few really good balls like that. She was managing to get up that left-hand side a lot and put in loads of really good crosses, which I think maybe we should have got more from. Had a few headers go awry. But yeah, when LJ is on form, she's just like completely unplayable. And I think that was a bit of what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah. We just need to wrap her up now in Cottonwood till summer 2027.
We need to wrap her up. No injuries. I want her to feel good physically,
confident,
mentally, confident, happy with her mates. She needs Lucy Bronze.
Yeah.
I think Lucy Bronze and her, they have such a lovely
relationship. They really do, yeah. I just think Lucy Bronze, we also need to wrap her up.
Yeah. I mean, for that goal and then her assist for the Georgia Stanway goal, how are we ever going to replace her?
I mean, Serena Wiegman was even saying was talking about her in the mix zone afterwards about her mentality and what she does to the team spirit. And, you know, it is going to be really different when we have to go to a tournament without her, because I really think lots of the players have talked about it over the past 2 Euros in the World Cup, like how she approaches it and what her mentality is like and how she gets the rest of the team kind of like fired up. And I just think we're going to have to find a way to replace that when the day comes.
Yeah, she's just like, first of all, the ultimate professional.
Yeah.
And
the ultimate competitor.
Yeah, you see her like photos or videos of her training or whatever. She's always in the gym, giving it everything every single second of every single day. Like everything she does is to make sure she can be the best footballer she can be.
Lest we forget, she played the Euros on a broken tibia.
Lest we forget. I almost had forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. And there was lots of action elsewhere. Ireland actually lost both their games 2-1, so to France and to the Netherlands, with a Katie McCabe goal in both of them. I think one was a penalty.
Yeah, that's really tough for Ireland because that's against two really, really good teams.
Yeah.
Like, to get such close results against France and the Netherlands is really frustrating in such a hard group.
Yeah, such a tough group they've got. Like, both France and Netherlands you would see going quite far in the competition, let alone qualifying. So, yeah.
Scotland, meanwhile, had a bit of an easier group. They've got Luxembourg, Belgium and Israel. So they played 2 games against Luxembourg and won them both really comfortably, 5-0 and 7-0.
Wow.
Got to see a lot of my favourite Kathleen McGovern, obviously. Of course, some Casway goals. Like, if Casway's not scoring, it means she's not on the pitch. So that's really exciting for Scotland. We'll see how they get on against Belgium in the next window.
Yeah, I mean, they've had huge disappointment in terms of international competitions over the past few years. So it would be so good for them to qualify for this.
Let's see what Melissa Andrietta can do for this team in this kind of World Cup cycle.
And then Wales had a few interesting results. So they drew 2-2 with Czechia and then they demolished Montenegro 6-1.
That was great to see goals coming from everywhere. Hannah Kane, I think, scoring a fair bit. And Marad Griffiths with 2 as well. So we haven't really seen loads of her in the WSL for Manchester United. Obviously, she's now gone on loan to Sunderland. So we'll see if she can get some more minutes. But obviously, she's a super promising player for Wales.
Yeah, and I think all of those Wales goals were really well taken. Like, I think in the past, watching them in international fixtures, sometimes that decision making in the final third has been a real issue. Obviously, Montenegro are not a super, super strong side. However, a lot of those goals needed precision and concentration and confidence to actually get them in the back of the net, and they were all really well taken. And to come away with 6 goals, I think it's a shame they didn't get a clean sheet.
Yeah,
I think they should have been pushing for that, and you know, that is something they're going to have to look at. But I think it looks like the decision making in the final third has really improved.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have a fixture against such a low ranked team for Wales, just to build their confidence again after they've had such a difficult run.
So who else is in their group?
So as well as those 2, they also have Albania,
right,
who are ranked at 71. So another team ranked well below them that they should be able to get results against. So it's looking good for Wales in their group.
Great. Well, that's good, because we would obviously love to see them go all the way.
Win the whole thing.
So elsewhere across the globe, the Asian Cup group stage is wrapping up today. But obviously some teams are already through. So South Korea and Australia and Japan are all through to the knockouts. Australia, because they qualified second in their group, actually are on track to only meet Japan in the final now on the grid. So you're going to get your wish.
That is very juicy.
Well, if they get there.
Maybe not, because that draw with South Korea, that's probably the biggest or only upset of the tournament so far.
And that was a really exciting game. And you could it seemed kind of electric in the stadium for that game. And every time one of those teams scored, you could just see what it meant to them. It was a real battle.
It's crazy.
Sam Kerr getting a goal, which obviously everyone loved. Alana Kennedy scoring that equaliser in the 8th minute of stoppage time.
Still going, still strong for Australia.
The clutch player for Australia.
It's not Sam Kerr. It's not Mary Fowler. It's Alana Kennedy. It's really good to see Kyra Cooney-Cross getting back on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
So go Kyra.
Go Kyra. Japan looking very strong, winning 11-0 against India. Again, a team they are ranked much, much, much higher than.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty, clinical display. All of those goals were pinpoint, perfect precision. It really took me back to how amazingly they played actually at the World Cup.
Yeah.
They are just such an amazing side.
Yeah, like looking back to when they beat Spain at the World Cup, that was just like jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
I think the surprise on the Spain players' face, they just did not know what was happening to them. So, yeah,
My money's on
definitely.
Japan, I think.
I think so as well. It's good to see India get a goal against Vietnam as well. So that's exciting. But it's not going that well for the South Asian teams, with India and Bangladesh both bottom of their groups.
I think Asia is still in a place where it's so obvious where federations are putting money.
Yeah.
Like, it's not at the point yet where the programs are funded equally.
Yeah.
And that is just so obvious when you look at an 11-0 scoreline, or, it's...
Yeah, like basically all of these games have had massively or pretty unequal scorelines with at least 2 or 3 goals to nil generally. So you really do see the disparity.
Yeah.
And North Korea, I think, again, it's going to be really interesting to see them come out of this group stage and play against some of the better teams in the competition, because they're top of their group at the moment on Monday morning. And yeah, kind of interesting to see how that stands against the higher ranked teams.
I think the knockouts are going to be really exciting, so I'm looking forward to it. We've still got 10-ish more days of the Cup, so the best is yet to come. And we've finally got an update from CAF about WAFCON, who have very, very belatedly announced that it is going to be rescheduled to July. It's been widely mocked by, players, fans, about kind of how unbelievably ridiculous it is that it's taken them so long to do that. I think some of the Super Falcons players have posted about it, saying it's actually embarrassing. The Super Falcons were already in camp when the news came out, as were many of the other teams. So I think it's just a complete mess, really.
Yeah, so BBC spoke to Desire Oparanozi, who, was super vocally disappointed, saying, "I'm very much worried, and I would say I'm disappointed because this keeps happening with women's football," which I think is the key point. Like with CAF and African women's football, we just keep seeing postponement, uncertainty, and just the women's game not being prioritised at all. And unforeseen circumstances doesn't exactly give us any
It doesn't clear
reason
anything up and
to justify it.
Totally. And it's also like, come on, the reason is you've bitten off more than you can chew with all these different men's tournaments you decided to host. And so the fall guy is WAFCON, which is a World Cup qualifying competition, which your random invitational tournament that's happening afterwards is not. So I think we can all really see where their priorities lie, and it's just really disappointing.
Even though we are without Jessie, I think we're okay to vote for our Screamers of the Week. I mean, it means one of us might get an extra point. Sorry, Jessie.
Well, you did it without me the other week. So.
We did. So it's only fair, really. I obviously, as the most committed member of the podcast, have been present for both. But I'm sure I'll go on holiday soon and sack it off. So not that either of you have done that. But that's the way that I would go. What's your pick? Any goals to shout out this week?
I've got a couple of goals to shout out. One of my honourable mentions is Elise Sens's rocket against Norway after an unfortunate assist from a Norwegian player for Germany during these qualifiers. I have picked an Elise Sens goal before. She does tend to do quite gorgeous screamers. So this really caught my eye. And then the other one that did catch my eye, but is not that I'm not choosing, is Alyssa Thompson's goal in the She Believes Cup final. And the final was USA-Colombia, goalless until the 81st minute. So I think partly it's just the sheer kind of relief.
Yeah, that clutch
exactly.
moment.
She just finds a pocket of space. There's a pinpoint assist from Jaden Shaw, and she rockets it right at the goal through 3 defenders, and it pings off the crossbar, which is quite fun.
That is really what we see every week from Alyssa Thompson.
Exactly.
She's carrying Chelsea at times.
It was a classic Alyssa Thompson.
She's like, I'm bored of this. Let me just put one away.
Can we just get this over with already? The goal that I'm going for actually is Yuzuki Yamamoto's opening of the scoring for Japan versus India, where she just cuts in on her left foot and bends it into the top corner. And it's just a gorgeous goal. She looked so happy when she scored it because it is an absolute screamer. So yeah, that's my pick. What's yours?
I love when those goals make it out of the training ground.
Exactly, when it comes off.
Yeah, you can just see how buzzing the players are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for Ukraine's 1 goal against England. Obviously as a traitor to my country, but I just thought it was a really great moment for Ukraine to get that goal back, and a very composed finish on the volley, which, as we all know, I love a volley.
You can't deny a volley.
I can't resist, and I just thought this was great to see. So those are our picks. We will put them up on Instagram for you to have a look at, and polls on Spotify and Instagram for you to vote for your Screamer of the Week. There are only 2 this time, so
choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
So this week, Barclays WSL published the results of a vote on that they got fans to vote for. I have to say, I didn't see where you were supposed to vote, so I wasn't one of the voters. So I'd love to see who actually voted. But, they have produced a definitive list of WSL GOATs according to the fans. I'm going to read you the list, and then we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we've got
thoughts and feelings. Okay, let's go. Mariona Caldente, Kim Little, Beth Mead, Alessia Russo, Leah Williamson, Rachel Daly, Fran Kirby, Millie Bright, Lucy Bronze, Lauren James, Sam Kerr, Kira Walsh, Courtney Brosnan, Gemma Bonner, Yui Hasegawa, Lauren Hemp, Viviana Miedemar, Khadija Shaw, Jess Park, Ella Toone and Bethany England.
I think certainly some of these players are GOATs of the modern WSL era. It's interesting how this list doesn't stretch back in time really at all.
Because I didn't see the vote itself, I don't know if it was like you had to tick players or you had to write players' names. If you had to tick players, I feel like there's been a misunderstanding of what GOAT means, because it's greatest of all time, not just greatest playing in the league currently. Yeah. Because that would be vote for your WSL GPITL ATM. And it's not that, it's GOATs. So I don't know if this is a product of fans that have only come to the league in the last 2 to 3 years, or if it's Barclays WSL have done a weird multiple choice and haven't understood the meaning of GOATs. Either way, I cannot believe there is a list that doesn't have Kelly Smith on it. I have to say that.
Kelly Smith.
Or Jordan Nobbs.
Yeah.
That is a bit cray-cray to me.
Kelly Smith, I think everyone who knows her name knows that she is one of the all-time greats of women's football in England.
Even Ellen White. I can't believe Ellen White's not on the list.
It's crazy. You know what I can't believe is that, well, I can believe it because this is a silly vote, obviously. And she is a really, really amazing player. But I think Mariona Caldente, after 1.5 seasons in the WSL, being classified as a WSL GOAT,
I think she's just a GOAT, isn't she? She's just like a great player. There's so many players not on this list though that should be on this list. Like, so say it was even like players that are playing at the moment, which it shouldn't be, but say it was. Where's Alex Greenwood?
Yeah.
Where's Erin Cuthbert?
Yeah.
Where is Hannah Hampton?
And
Katie McCabe.
I think choices like Jess Park, who everyone knows, I think Jess Park is an amazing player. She's not exactly established herself long term in the WSL. A lot of these players have, but yeah.
It's a strange vote.
I think it does just appear as though Barclays WSL social media team, as we know, maybe is misguided, along with some of the fans who might not have been following the WSL for that long. And I think a combination of that creates a list like this, which is very kind of reductive.
Yeah, and I think the stupidness of this list can be summed up by the comment that I saw, which made me laugh, which said, I wanted to add Ellie Kildun, but I guess she uses her hands too often. But go off, I guess, Barclays WSL.
Maya, have you got any news for the Woso Community Noticeboard today?
I have. Now, are you sitting down?
Oh, I know this is coming. This is my news, and I actually don't want to talk about it.
Rip. The WSL Fantasy Game have announced that they are going to be ending after this season, which is obviously a huge loss, not only to the WSL community, but mostly to Honor-Wix. But on a serious note, though, it is so shit that they haven't been able to come to an agreement with the WSL in order to continue.
Yeah, I think we're partly making assumptions here about
what the agreements
with the league, and I know the reasons that they gave were kind of that they couldn't find a way to make any money from this game despite putting so much work into it, which is just like amazing for them to have achieved and amazing for the profile of the WSL as well. Like, I think players of this game, or players of fantasy football games in general, who are really, really keen on the tactical side of things, researching the players, I think it's a great way for people to find out more about women's football players.
And also to get more invested in games that aren't necessarily your team. Like, I think it is such a great way to increase engagement in the league.
Speaking for myself, I know that I'm much more invested in games that I don't really have
a stake in
at all, because I'm like, will my player score? Yeah. Will my player assist?
It's also a great way for people to feel involved.
Yeah, exactly. And the unique factors in this game compared to other fantasy games that are out there is that they have these extra points for visionary players, which I love because it gives players of the game an advantage if they choose a lesser known player. So at this point, getting to know those more kind of niche WSL players, secret ballers, giving profile to the players that are performing week in, week out, but aren't exactly the big names. And the wall function where you can like get extra points for your clean sheets. I don't know, it's so much fun and it's so unique. And it's really, really sad to see them go. I wonder if we're going to see an official game come out which is tied to, the WSL football.
I would be really surprised if not, because otherwise I don't understand why they haven't been able to help this one continue existing.
Or at least work with them or buy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's already got this huge user base. You have so much data and so many engaged users already. It seems like such a shame to just kind of throw that all away.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing I have for the notice board is the news that the WSL playoff is going to be on the same day as the Champions League final, which I think is such a massive own goal.
I think so. I think for it even to be on the same weekend is...
Because they will know that there'll be lots of fans who would be an audience to this game or would be even coming to this game who are actually going to be travelling to Oslo for that Champions League final. Or even if... I mean, to me, it's two really exciting matches that I would want to watch both of them. And so now in my head, I'm like, well, the easiest way for me to engage with both those games is not to go to either, which is so that I can watch them both, which is like it's so counterintuitive and it's completely not what they want. Like, because of this clash, the easiest way to now watch them is to sit at home.
Yeah. And especially if a WSL team does reach the Champions League final, that is such a huge story, and it really feels like it could take eyes off this playoff, which is the first of its kind in this era. It's really, really exciting. It's the chance for a team to gain promotion and knock out a WSL team that's been sitting comfortably.
It's so strange to me, the things that the league are doing at the moment. Like, we talked a few months ago about the deal with, or a bit more in depth about the deal that they made with Sky Sports, and then comparing the viewing numbers on the London derby at the Emirates Stadium, and it was like 10% of what the audience had been when the game had been on the BBC. Decisions like that and decisions like this, they're just, I find it really hard to understand what the motivations behind them are, because either it's like a lack of care, which I find that hard to believe because they're a completely independent league to the men's football associations, so I don't believe it's a lack of thought. But then I'm like, well, what is the motivating factor? Because the motivating factor should be to grow the game, but it seems they're making decisions that kind of do the exact opposite.
Yeah, I think in trying to sort of fast track the commercialization of the women's game. They are leaving certain things behind and maybe making decisions that don't necessarily benefit fans, players, or the visibility of the game to the wider public.
Yeah, because I mean, so the Sky Sports deal, presumably they got a lot more money from it than they did the BBC deal, but in doing that they've cut their audience. But it's strange to me because it feels like the number one priority should be growing the audience, and that's not what they've done with the TV deals, and that's definitely not what they're doing here, because they've just created a clash with arguably the biggest game of the season.
Absolutely. Anything else before we sign off?
The last thing is, have you seen, because I know you're a fan of mascots, have you seen Racing Louisville's new mascot?
No, I haven't. Please show me.
It's very cute. Called Float. I'm just going to show on her for the listeners.
Oh my God. This beautiful fairy. Show me again. Sorry, is that like a racing fair? What?
Is she like a sort of butterfly insect?
No, it's giving insect. You're right. Sorry, she's not a fairy, it appears. She's a butterfly, but she does have a human body and face. So she's got arms and legs, although her arms and legs are covered in pink fur. She's obviously wearing the signature lilac kit of Racing Louisville, and she has these pink and silver goggles, silver antennae, and a human light pale skinned face. And in the caption, sorry, I've just spotted this. In the caption, it says, inspired by Muhammad Ali's legacy and our city's heart, Float is here to lead the next generation of racing fans.
Oh, she must be a butterfly then. Float like a butterfly.
Float like a butterfly, but why is she
sting
inspired
like a
by
bee.
Muhammad Ali's legacy? What am I missing here?
Is he from Louisville? He must be.
Yeah, but what about her? Sorry, it can't be the pink fur.
I think it's just her name, right?
Float.
Float like a butterfly, that's what he always said. He always said float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Right, yeah. I was missing that part.
Look, I do agree that it's a tenuous link. Maybe some boxing gloves, but obviously then it would have been the wrong sport. Yeah. It's just a bit random, isn't it? But I do like her. I think she's quite gorgeous.
She is very gorgeous. She's very camp and confusing. I'm saying she, but actually I think
she hasn't been gendered.
She's quite gender non. She's gendered in the caption.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, but I would say gender non-conforming butterfly. Wow, thanks Maya for opening my world to Float.
Maybe she's a cousin of Flo.
Oh my God. That is all for Screamers this week, but come back next week when the WSL is back and we will know the champions of the Subway League Cup. But until then,
follow us across Instagram, TikTok and YouTube at screamers_pod, or you can email us at screamerspod@gmail.com. And please follow, rate and review us wherever you're listening to us right now so we can reach even more women's football fans.
And I'm expecting a comment, Leah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.